Hello students. So in this session we are going to discuss regarding final accounts of company. That final accounts of company, the pro forma of balance sheet with relevant notes in a vertical method as per Companies Act 2013. So ಈ session ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು as per Companies Act 2013 ಪ್ರಕಾರ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಪ್ರೋ ಫಾರ್ಮಾ ಹೇಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ರಿಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. So this is the pro forma of balance sheet. Here are the particulars, notes, that is note number, figures for the current reporting period, figures for the previous reporting period. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರೇಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ನ ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಗೆ ತಗೋಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ. So that the first one, the equity and liability. Again, the equity and liability is segregated as follows. That is the first one is shareholders fund. And that first A, share capital, that is note number 1. And the second one is that is B, reserves and surplus, note number 3. And the C, reserve money received against the share warrants. Coming to that, second one, under that equity and liability, non-current liabilities. Under that again, the non-current liabilities is segregated as the long-term borrowings, note number 3. Deferred tax liability, note number 4. The long-term liability, note number 5. The long-term provision, note number 6. The third one is the current liabilities. That again, the current liabilities segregated as follows. That no A, short-term borrowings, note number 7. And the B, trade payables, note number 8. And C, other current liability, note number 9. And short-term provision, note number 10. So add these things, that the total is called as the total of equity and liability. And coming to that, the second one is the assets. The assets are segregated as follows. And the first one is non-current assets. Again, that the non-current assets are segregated as the fixed assets, that is note number 11. Non-current assets, that is note number 12. The deferred tax assets, note number 13. Long-term loans and advances, note number 14. Other non-current assets, note number 15. Into that, the second one is under the assets, the current assets. Again, the current assets are segregated as current investments, note number 16. Inventories, note number 17. Trade receivable, note number 18. Cash and cash equivalents, note number 19. Short-term loans and advances, note number 20. And other current assets are note number 21. The total of these things, that is called the total of assets. So let's move on to that, the notes that are relating to balance sheet. That the note number 1, that's the share capital. For each under that share capital, we include the following: that for each class of share capital, that is different class of preference share to be treated separately. So different classes different shares ಇರ್ಬೋದು separate ಆಗಿ treat ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. And each class of share capital ಇಲ್ಲಿ mention ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. It includes the number and the amount of share authorized, the number of share issued, subscribed, fully paid, subscribed but not fully paid, par value per share, a reconciliation of number of share outstanding at the beginning, at the end of the reporting period. So ಇಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ನೋಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಶೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಆಗ್ತದೆಯಾ? ಅದೇ ತರ ನೋಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 2 ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್. That reserves and surplus includes the capital reserves, capital redemption reserves, security premium reserves, debenture redemption reserve, revaluation reserve, share option outstanding account, and other reserves. As well as these things, here the surplus is also included. Here that surpluses, in that surplus we are going to make adjustment regarding the current year profit and profit or loss, and also we are going to make appropriation out of that profit that is transferred to reserves, dividend declared, and outstanding dividends, like that. These things are going to be adjusted out of the current year profit, and that will be shown as in surplus. And the note number 3, that represents as long-term borrowings, that includes bonds, debenture, term loans, deferred payment of liabilities, deposits, loans and advance from related party, long-term maturity of finance, lease obligation, other loans and advances. It includes like that. And the deferred tax liability, that related to fixed assets. And other long, that is note number 5, the other long-term liability. And the other long-term liability shall be classified as trade payables and others, that related to the trade payables that are relating to the borrowings of capital assets. So that capital, the borrowings of the payables created on capital assets treated as other long-term liabilities here. And then note number 6, long-term provision. The amount shall be classified provision for employee benefits and others. So long-term provisions ಏನಾದ್ರು create ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ employee benefit ಮೇಲೆ ಆ provisions ಇಲ್ಲಿ entry ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. And then note number 7, short-term borrowings. The short-term borrowings includes loans repayable on demand from the banks and other parties. So on demand ಮೇಲೆ ಲೋನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ repayable on demand ಮೇಲೆ ಲೋನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ that is from bank ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ other parties ಇರಬಹುದು. And loans and advances from the related parties, deposits, other loans and advances that is will be in specific in nature, that will be shown in short-term borrowings. That will be the loans and advances which are taken for short-term period. Short-term period ಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡಿರುವಂತ loans and advances ನ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ represent ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. And coming to that, note number 8, trade payables. Here that trade payables includes the sundry creditors, bills payable, outstanding interest on loan but not payable, and outstanding interest on loans and payable. So like that, here the trade payable that include for the sundry creditors, that is traded work ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಇದನ್ನು payables ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು trade payables ಅಂತ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. And coming to that, note number 9, other current liabilities includes current liability of long-term debt, current liability of current maturity of finance lease obligation, interest accrued but not due on borrowings, interest accrued and due on borrowings, income received in advance, unpaid dividend, like that. These things are treated under the other current liability. And coming to that, note number 10, short-term provision. The amount shall be classified as the provision employee benefits and provision for employee benefits and others. That is the provision which are created for short-term period. So long-term provisions that created for long-term period, and the short-term provisions created for short-term period. And coming to that, note number 11, fixed assets. It include both tangible and intangible assets and capital work in progress. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ fixed assets ಅಲ್ಲಿ both tangible as well as intangible assets ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ include ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. And note number 12, non-current investments. That is include investment property, investment in property, investment in equity instruments, investment in preference share, investments in government and trust securities, investments in debenture or bonds, investments in mutual fund, investments in partnership firm, other non-current investments. That means here that non-current investments, it means the investments made for a long period. So long period ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ investments ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ non-current investments ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. That will be investments on property ಇರಬಹುದು, and investments in equity instruments, preference shares, government and trust securities, debenture and bonds, mutual funds, partnership fund, other non-current investments ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. That's for long period. And deferred tax asset, that related to tax asset, fixed assets. Long-term loans and advances include capital advance, security deposit, loans and advance to related party, other loans and advances. That like ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸಸ್ ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬಹುದು ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನಿಯವರಿಗೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಟು ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. Coming to that, note number 15, other non-current assets. It includes long-term trade receivable, including trade receivable on deferred credit terms and other specified nature ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. That is ಇಲ್ಲಿ other non-current assets ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ long-term trade receivables ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ರೆ, that is capital assets ಗಳನ್ನ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ರಿಸೀವಬಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Then note number 16, the current investments. Here that current investments ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. It includes investments in equity instruments, that may be in preference share, maybe in government or trust securities, debenture and bonds, mutual fund, partnership firm, and other investments that are investments in made for the short period. And then note number 17, inventory, that includes raw material, work in progress, finished goods, stock in trade, etc. Like that. ಇನ್ವೆಂಟರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಫಿನಿಶ್ಡ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇವುಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಇನ್ವೆಂಟರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನೋಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 18, ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ರಿಸೀವಬಲ್ಸ್ include secured and unsecured doubtful trade receivable. That means here the trade receivables are made for that is secured and unsecured doubtful trade receivable ಮೂರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸನ್ಡ್ರಿ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ರಿಸೀವಬಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. Note number 19, cash and cash equivalent. Here that note number 19, cash and cash equivalent include balance with bank, checks, draft and on hand, cash on hand, other. That is here that regarding the cash and cash equivalent. That means ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಚೆಕ್ಸ್, ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಇದನ್ನ cash and cash equivalent ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. Coming to that note number 20, short-term loans and advances. The short-term loans and advances classified loans and advances to a related party and the other specified nature ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Here that loans and advance given to a short-term period for that related parties ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ short-term period ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ loans and advances ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ತಗೋತೀವಿ. Coming to that note number 21, other current assets. This is an all-inclusive heading with non-corporate incorporates the current assets that do not fit into any other assets ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ತೋರಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿಗೂ ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಈ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆಸ್ ಪರ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 2013. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈ ತರ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಫಾರ್ಮಾ ಈ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ that include also both notes related to balance sheet ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು both current year ಮತ್ತೆ previous year ಎರಡು ಇಯರ್ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೆಜರ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ and the related notes as per the Companies Act of 2013, as per Schedule 3 of Companies Act of 2013. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you.